Hi, I'm John Healy from Del Mar, and I've been lucky enough to be participating in triathlons every year since 1980. I grew up near Boston, and I grew up in a neighborhood with dozens and dozens of children. We played outside almost all the time. We didn't do a lot of swimming, although we played in the ocean and the water was very cold. And we didn't go in the few swimming pools because there was a polio epidemic and we knew children who got polio. So we really didn't become a decent swimmer until we started as teenagers to swim in the granite quarries nearby. In 1979, I decided to participate in the 50th annual Labor Day swim at the Oceanside Pier. At that swim, there was somebody handing out entry blanks to a run, swim, run event in Pacific Beach. I decided to do that, although it seemed impossible at the time. And then I got on the mailing list for triathlons somehow. So when the first few triathlons came out, one of the first was in my hometown of Del Mar. And I signed up for that with a lot of my friends and neighbors. Well, triathlon in the beginning was pretty informal. We just wore bathing suits, and a lot of us rode on children's bicycles. Running was probably the most common thing people had done before. Now there's a lot of specialized equipment, fancy bikes, expensive bikes, wetsuits that make you swim faster and keep you warm, and a lot of training plans, how to train and what diet to eat. But in the beginning it was really, really informal. In fact, it was so informal that between events we changed our clothes right out in the open. So you accumulated a lot of medals we called hardware, but most of them just end up in a drawer somewhere, but some are very special. This is an Ironman. It's a trophy from finishing the early Ironman triathlon, where we swam 2.5 miles and biked 112 miles and then ran a marathon in a very hot Hawaii afternoon. And here's a trophy from the Alcatraz triathlon in the early 80s, where we started out swimming 1.5 miles in very cold water from Alcatraz to San Francisco. And then, and so the iron bar signifies the prison at San Francisco. And the steps, the 16-mile run that we did over mountainous terrain started out with 678 steps that we had to go up at the beginning of the race and down after 16 miles. So one thing I learned was that although the Ironman is very difficult, and at the beginning the few of us who did it thought we were pretty special. In the last couple of years, about 70,000 people a year do the event. So that doesn't mean it's not special to each and every one of them, but it means that truly anybody can do it with a lot of preparation and planning. Maybe the strangest thing that happened to me was at Huntington Beach, where the surf is very large sometimes. I did a race I had a Speedo swimming suit on, and the large waves first took my goggles away, and then it took my pants right off, and I was lucky to catch the pants with my big toe, so I could put the pants back on before I came ashore. I've competed in almost 400 triathlons and another 150 races that combined two of the sports together. Probably the most unusual race I competed in was a running and shooting race, where you ran for 1/2 mile and then shot at targets in 3 different positions. Advice for somebody contemplating a triathlon: I would say go ahead and do 1 or 2, but I would only continue if it was a lot of fun. So I don't do as many races as I used to, but I have favorites that are pretty close to home. One race I've done 36 years in a row is the Carlsbad Triathlon. So that and a couple of other local races are what I'll probably end up doing in the next couple of years.